Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Well, as you can see by the title, this is the top 10 all-time EDC knives from my eyes. Now, Slicey Dicey did this video a week or so ago, and he did it as an open tag for people to get involved. Well, one, because there's a lot of people just kind of hanging out at home now. And it was a great idea. I've done one, a while ago, so I figured it was a good time to do an update. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, some of these are going to be pretty much repeats for the most part. There's probably not a whole lot of surprises here, but it's still harder than what it looks like. What it sounds like. I really had to think about it. And like I said, it's been about a week ago, and I've been thinking about, what are the knives that I carry the most? Because as, a knife reviewer and stuff, I always have knives coming in and out. And, I got to carry those to take them to work, see what I like. So these are the knives that just, through the time that I've been doing this and the time I've really been collecting knives, that just seem to find themselves in my pocket most often. And like I said, there'll be some surprises. Maybe not. We'll see. But the first one is probably no surprise at all. But it's the Benchmade 940. No matter how long or how many knives I have come through, the 940 just seems to find its way into my pocket. It's that knife, it's the slender that I really like to carry, and it just does. It finds itself, and these are in no particular order. We'll get that right out of the way. This isn't like a top 10 or a 10 through 1, but it's just the 10 knives that find themselves. And this one, when I really started kind of getting into knives, was kind of my first grail. And, it just hangs around. Because it's a great knife. So, no surprise, the 940 is on this list. We'll shut it and put it up here. Now, I almost had a couple of honorable mentions, but I decided to pare it down and just keep 10. But there's actually 11, but two of them are taking up basically one slot. And that is the Rat 2 D2 and the Kbar Dozier. These two knives are my travel knives. Whenever I travel, if I fly, especially when flying, when I drive, well, it's a different story. But anytime I fly, these two knives go with me. Why? Well, because they're fairly inexpensive knives. They're easily replaceable. And they're good knives. They're easy to carry. They're small. They're light. And they just go everywhere with me when I fly. It's, I don't want to take, some of my more expensive knives and stuff like that when I fly, because God forbid they get lost, lost or lost in quotation marks, lost, however you want to put it. They're easily replaceable, and they're great knives. They do the job. So definitely these two travel with me all the time. And I put them together because I was like, man, which one have I taken most? I don't know. You know what? They're going together. So they definitely go together. Let's see. What should I do next? Well, let's do this one. This one, the Kaiser Vanguard Dukes. When I first got this knife, VG10 steel, I carried this knife all the time. I carried it a lot. Now, I don't carry it so much now, and by now I mean in the last couple of months, because if you guys know, we've been doing kind of the whole Nellie's knife search with my wife. Yeah, she decided she really liked the Kaiser Dukes. And yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of it recently. So, again, that's slender. Plus it's red. That doesn't hurt. But VG10, it's just got, this knife was probably the most drop sheddy, best action. It needs to be cleaned up now. I don't know what she's been doing with this thing. But it was just, man, it was one of my absolute favorites for quite some time. Great little knife. Oh, man, I'm going to have to steal this thing back. Nah, she'll know. She's only got maybe 5, 6, 7 knives at this point. She could take one of my knives, and I probably wouldn't notice for a while, but if I took this one, she would definitely notice. So I suppose I'll give it back to her when I'm done. But the Kaiser Vanguard Dukes. Love it. Now, let's do this one. The Manly Wasp. Why does this guy fall in there? Well, I've said it many times. This knife, when I'm doing certain work at my job, this knife goes with me because, man, that flat ground blade, S90V, it doesn't scare anybody. And I always have to show people. I have to show security folks, people that are heavily armed, that I have a knife and I'm taking my knife to work with me. It doesn't scare anybody. And I don't know why a knife would scare anybody anyway, because I have a knife and they have rifles. So, but there's rules and I have to abide by rules. And this one definitely abides by the rules. And I love it. It's just an awesome little knife. Great little rope knife. And I take it to work with me. On certain occasions, this is pretty much the only knife that goes with me. Just an awesome little knife. Okay, what should we talk about next? Let's do something different. Let's do this one. A slip joint. I have a couple of slip joints here. This guy, the micarta work knife from Rough Rider. Again, an awesome little rope knife. If I just grab a knife quick, if I haven't fully decided what I'm going to carry for the day, this guy just gets dropped in my pocket. If I run to the store quick or something like that, man, this little guy gets grabbed more times than not. This one and its other little slip joint buddy. If I just want to have a knife in my pocket. This one, still, great little knife. I'm very bummed that they don't make them anymore, because I have people ask me all the time, where do I get the work knife? Can I get a work knife? No, they don't make them anymore. There for a while, they were selling them at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works store. They were selling like factory seconds. I guess some that had, blemishes. Somehow they were selling them as factory seconds for like $7. Man, getting this knife for $7. I mean, this knife for whatever it was selling for, $15, was an awesome deal. For $7, I don't care if it's got a blemish on it or not. Maybe the gap here was too wide or something. I don't know. But I'd buy 3 or 4 of them. Fantastic little knife. And I've tried to convince. Oh, you need to make more. No, probably not. All right. This one should be no surprise to anybody. It's a PM2. A PM2 is a PM2 is a PM2. I avoided the whole Spyderco train, like I said, for a long time. Why? I don't know. I think it was the blade shape. I just had something against the blade shape for some odd reason. I don't know why. But yeah, can I do it? No. Damn, this one's Did it? Oh, almost. Yeah, that's enough. Compression lock. I love the compression lock. Fingers stay out of the cutting path. Yep. I mean, seriously, what more can you say about the PM2? It's just a really good knife. And there again, if I want to do a little bit more around the house or whatever, out when I even going to work, you know, if I don't have another knife that I'm checking out, this one just, it fits the bill, and it goes. This little guy. This little guy, he doesn't get a whole lot of attention. A lot of notoriety, I guess, is the word I should say. So I had to throw him in there. Guys, this is my lunchbox knife. It goes with me to work every single day. It's my food knife. It does nothing but cut food if I need it to cut food. Fruit, meat, whatever the case. It's got little partially serrated. It just got deemed my lunchbox knife. And to be perfectly honest with you, this knife gets carried, let's use the word carried, probably more than any other knife I have, because it goes to work with me every single day. So it has to be on the list. It just does. Does it get used every single day? No. But carried, by far, probably the most carried knife in my collection. And it does nothing but food at work. Next off, we'll do this one. It's actually a fixed blade. I don't talk about fixed blades a whole lot, but the Tops MSK 2.5, probably my most carried knife around the house. I don't carry a neck knife a lot when I go out, but when I'm at home on the weekends, I mean, if I run somewhere quick on the weekend, it'll go with me. But this is pretty much my weekend carry at home. Whether I'm in the house, outside working, I mean, it might not get a lot of use, but it definitely gets a lot of carry. I just always have it because I'm usually wearing shorts around the house, and it's just easy to have this hanging around my neck. Awesome, awesome, fantastic little fixed blade. My Micarta handles. Oh, just, It's probably my favorite fixed blade that I have, to be perfectly honest with you. Awesome little knife. Another slip joint that gets carried quite a bit. My Alox Pioneer. Now this one, as you can see, is modified quite a bit. I won it, oh God, probably a year ago in a giveaway. And it's done by, all the modding was done by Brassworks. 875 FPS on Instagram. And give it that whole weathered look with the Alox. Stonewashed all the blade stuff, you know, or stonewashed, acid washed, stonewashed. And again, like the Micarta work knife, if I just grab a knife really quick, this one gets it a lot. And it even has, this is my Holiday Leatherworks slip. This is the only knife that goes in this slip. And this is how it sits. And I just grab and go. It's got the scissors. That's probably why it goes with me a lot. It's got a blade, but then again, it's got the scissors. And I'll say it for the, I don't know how many hundredth time, but it's really hard to beat those scissors. Fantastic little scissors. Perfect little grab and go knife. And now, I gotta kind of move these. Okay. Alright, I can zoom out a little bit. Alright. I kind of have to make room for this next because it's one kind of knife, but there's definitely more than one of them. Yep. The Bugout. Again, it's just such an easy knife to carry that it finds its way into my pocket over and over and over. Whether it be this one, the Blackout, the one with the red scales that I actually bought this from JT, and then Zach sent me the red scales that he dyed to put on it. Or the newest one, the Mini. And yeah, I throw it in there because it's still a Bugout. It might be a mini Bugout, but it's still a Bugout. These knives, as of, the most recent, probably, I'd say, definitely probably the last 6 months, this is probably the knife I've carried the most. One of these four. The Bugout. They're just fantastic knives. There's light. I love them. It doesn't matter which one. I don't have a preference as to which one. I don't have like the CF Elite or anything like that. But yeah. The Bugout right now is probably the most carried knife in my collection. I grab a knife and I don't know, 6 times out of 10 anymore, it's a Bugout. Maybe because they're laying on top. I don't know. But I love carrying them. I just do. I just love carrying them. So there you go, guys. Those are my 10 top 10 all-time EDC knives. The knives that have probably seen the most carry time out of any in my collection. Yes, I have a lot of knives that I love, and I do have a lot of knives that I carry from time to time. But these easily get the most pocket time out of my collection. Well, that, like I said, with the exception of that one, because Nelly stole it from me. And I'm going to give it back to her. But there you go. Slicey started this whole thing. JT's done an awesome one. We have a couple of similar ones in our rotations. But anybody out there, it's an open tag, guys. Jump in. Show us your top 10 EDC of all time. And Slicey is making a watch list with all of these videos. So I invite you to join in the fun. Have a good time. I had to think about it. I really had to think quite a bit. Because if I really wouldn't have, this guy might not have made it. But it's easily probably the most carried knife I own right now. Are these two, my travel companions. Think about it, and please, share them with us. It'd be awesome. I'd love to see your videos. But as always, guys, thanks for hanging out with me and checking out my top 10 all-time EDC knives. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, guys. I love talking to y'all. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.